What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Deontay Wilder warns Andy Ruiz against becoming too lazy against the Joshua rematch. Basically had this to say, he doesn't want Ruiz to become too lazy based on his success. You know, a lot of times that can happen, and he referenced Marvin Hagler's reference. It's hard to get up and run when you're in silk pajamas, so, he referenced that. So that was his warning to Andy Ruiz that, that he hopes that he doesn't get lazy. Now, that is a desire. I know he's wishing that Andy would win so he can fight Andy easier, because I think he wants to dictate what goes on in the negotiations and all that egotistical stuff, right? We know that. But the bottom line, Deontay Wilder's right. He hasn't said anything all these other fighters have said, or other, trainers or whatever, boxing experts, that Andy Ruiz might have too many distractions. He might have got too complacent in what he's received in his first fight. How hungry will he be for the second? Will he be this savage beast, or will he be this dude that's comfortable with getting another payday? Nonetheless, Deontay Wilder, warns his stablemate in fighting Joshua again, because I'm figuring Wilder knows that this time Joshua's not going to go in there like he did the last time. Regardless of what Wilder says, calling him quitter or whatever his perception and, diagnosis was of that fight, he knows that won't be the case. That's why he's making statements like this. You don't make statements like this about Andy Ruiz, warning him not to be lazy if you didn't have any level of concern. That this is Deontay's way of reaching out to Andy, like, hey man, don't get this way. We're rooting on you. It's Team PBC and Al Heyman, baby, right? You know what I mean? That's basically what he wants, because it's bigger than what a lot of people think. It's not just a fight for a lot of people. It's, vested interest in networks. Because, see, these are two different networks. Sure, it's on the Zone. They have the Lion Share. They have the Call. But Andy Ruiz represents PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, with Al Heyman, okay? He represents that side of the street, so as Errol Spence calls it. So it is imperative that Ruiz repeats the same thing. And that's one of the dangers of him losing, is being lazy. And it could happen. It could happen. Ask Roberto Duran, right? No mas. Do you know why he said no mas? Because he didn't train properly. He partied and he couldn't get himself in condition to fight Sugar Ray Leonard. And, in the rematch, and Sugar Ray Leonard, he ate, slept, and breathed Roberto Duran, on top of Duran getting in his head, right? And it was similar. It was very similar, because, Sugar Ray, he didn't know what defeat was. He's not used to, losing like that, right? So, Joshua isn't either. So I think Deontay Wilder knows that Joshua is coming full-fledged, and he knows what he's up against. And I honestly don't think Deontay Wilder, doing things like this, again, wants to fight Joshua in the future. He doesn't want to fight Joshua. He wants to fight Ruiz. You know what I mean? For other reasons. It's easy to fight a guy in your stablemate. You can relax. But then guess what? Let's say that Ruiz beats Joshua, okay? Let's look at that as a possibility, because it is a possibility. Let's say Ruiz beats him, and the fight's made or whatnot with Deontay, well, depending on Deontay, if he wins. And he pulls the same thing with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's like, oh, woo, man, I don't have to face Joshua. Now all I got to do is worry about Ruiz. Stable mates, baby. Yeah, high five, chest bump. Then he goes in there, gets disarmed, gets his ass beat too. He can't land that hammer. He's too slow. He's too down to the earth, which I think he'll land. But then, you know, let's say he doesn't. Let's say Ruiz gets on the inside. This is no Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola himself said that about Andy Ruiz. He's like, who the hell is this fat kid you got me in there with? And he got in there with him and found out this fat ass kid can fight. You know what I mean? So Andy Ruiz's biggest deception is his appearance. I think he should embrace it, honestly. Yeah, the Snickers was great. Hell, I'd be throwing a Snickers up too if I was like Ruiz, because I represent this type of person. You don't have to be any type of color or race. This is the way you look, a self-esteem thing that people deal with every day. You know what I mean? So that could happen to Deontay Wilder. He just looks at Andy Ruiz, because maybe Wilder's looking at Ruiz like that. Maybe he's worried about, you know what? I'd rather fight Ruiz instead of Joshua. Why? Because Ruiz looks beatable. He looks more beatable. He looks like the guy that I'd rather fight than the guy that I don't. I don't want to fight Mike Tyson plus 6 more inches, right? I don't want to fight a tall, big, colossal like dude like that could hurt me, because he's looking eye to eye at me. I'd rather fight the shorter dude, because I know I can catch him with that Scud missile right. That may be what he's thinking. That may be the whole deal, on top of being an Al Heyman fighter and a PBC fighter. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder's instructions to Andy Ruiz. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.